It is exactly 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Jeff Kananga live here at Citizen Television. It is a packed bench tonight. Why? Because the topic is a brave new dawn from the Stone Age to the phone age. If you were watching pictures or if you were there at the Mandamanos yesterday, you know Gen Z has come of age. And we've got a whole bunch of them here in the studio. From the far end, Shadrach Kiprono, or Shad. He says he's not an activist, but he was one of the brains behind the movement yesterday. Right next to him, Wanjiro. She's an activist. She was there. And right next to her, activist number one. He has literally just come from jail. Kamukunji. Good Lord. Boniface Mwangi, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Right next to him, Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, who's no stranger to demonstrations from way back when he was president of SONU for like 15 years or something.
The Mugabe of SONU.
And right next to him, Senior Counsel Paul Mwangi, who was there at the very first demonstrations, known as Saba Saba, July 7th, 1990. What a bench. Sit back. Bunny, let's start with you.
Yes.
So you literally just came out this afternoon, right?
Yeah, at 5 p.m. I spent the night in jail, Kamkunji. We locked up with street boys, chokoras, and all manner of people. There was no water, there was no electricity, like in our cell, there was no power. Very cold place. And then in the morning, they gave us half a cup of tea and one slice of bread for breakfast.
I tried to message you yesterday and I couldn't get through.
On my phone, I didn't have my phone.
I can imagine, yes.
I was arrested and then taken to Central, then Kamkunji, me and 400 others.
400 others?
Yeah, and then we ended up 3 people in court today, and the DPP refused to charge. Said,
were they violent? Were they...
It was a peaceful demonstration. There was no violence. The only person who has an injury is a police officer who blew up with their own hands.
Who blew himself
up. He blew himself up. No one else. One cop who was violent towards us, then the violence turned back to him.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Jira, how was it for you?
The tear gas was too much. It was
I hear you wanted vapor. You wanted some... That's what I saw on TikTok.
No, actually, no. Tear gas is harmful to your health, to your lungs when you ingest it. And if the protest is peaceful, there's absolutely no reason to retaliate with tear gas.
Were you scared? Were you worried at some point?
Absolutely not. Why should you be scared when you're exercising your sovereign duty as a citizen of this country? Why should you be worried?
Babu Owino, when you look at these folks, I don't want to call them kids, but they're young. Compared to when you guys were demonstrating, what do you see? What's the difference?
I think the difference is almost the same. Because when I used to hold demonstrations in the university, that is where they were learning from. So they were learning from there. Now they can do it even better. So congratulations for what you did yesterday. It's an amazing thing. Where I was so happy.
Asante. Just to add a bit on that is yesterday's demonstrations were different because there was no one particular leader, for example. The protests were very organic in terms of the organizing of the protest. Like Shadrach here says, he's not an activist, but he was a key mobilizer. Influencers on TikTok, young people speaking to each other like, yo guys, we gotta turn up. This is about our lives. This is about our future. And coming, I know people were expecting to see me, but Guni was not there, but the protest happened nonetheless. That should tell us something, that the nature of protest in this country is changing and people are taking back their own agency to realize better realities, material conditions and futures for themselves and their children. Yeah.
Shadrach, tell us who you are. I mean, people want to know, who are you and how did you get involved with this movement?
Okay. I think we have a few clarifications to make. Number one, my name is Shadrach Kiprono. Number two, I am not an activist.
You keep saying that.
I am a banker.
Oh.
I am a banker.
A banker?
I am a credit risk professional. Credit risk professional manager. Number three, I am not Gen Z. I am 1 year older than this guy, Babu Owino.
Yeah.
We were in school together.
Oh. Yeah.
When he was in UN, the leader of SONU, I was in Lokabete campus, BCom.
Yeah.
I have never been an activist. Yeah, that's my introduction.
So yesterday, what was your involvement? What was your role?
What happened was, I'm a data scientist, yeah? So I do a lot of work. So I used Twitter to let out my thoughts. So it started very simply tweeting with a friend of mine. Just tweeting. Suddenly we went viral. We 3 days ago, when we started, we actually started this on June 16th at around 2 p.m. We were sitting in wherever we stayed, near Capital Center. And they're like, you know what? People are going to protest on Thursday, right? Why don't we have like 2,000, but between the two of us, to the Capital Center hapa, to print out many flyers, we hand them out. So we tweeted about that. We went to Capital Center, we printed it. Suddenly that tweet blew up. People started sending us money to print more. We were kicked out of Capital Center, Naivas. We like, okay, you have kicked out, let us go to CBD. Came to CBD, just run. Find out, you'll see me somewhere walking alone, just shouting in Tomboya. And then people just started following me, built a team. This was not planned at all. My team are my friends, people we hang out with, and a couple of strangers that they just like, can you volunteer? Let us join your team. I have a team of about, I think, 10 people now. They are seated somewhere, just receiving small contributions. Right now, I think we need some 28K just to get some people to T-shirts, fare, or to a wheelie or tattoo, 28,500.
That's what you need.
No, wait. So I want to put someone on the spot right now.
Go on.
Mr. Babu Owino.
Uh-oh.
My team has said that by the time we leave here, we don't know how you're going to do it. We need 500,000 shillings from you to facilitate that team. Figure it out. Somebody will pick it up from you.
Okay.
No,
Mahesh?
Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
The challenge of taking money from politicians, they own you and they claim I funded this. So I think you'll be making a mistake with you and your team, taking money from this person. So if you take money from this person, you're going to tarnish everyone's work.
Thank you, Mr. Babu Owino.
I think
Yes, they feel like they own you. Politicians have this thing of ownership. So do not take money from politicians.
I think Bonnie is getting it wrong because Bonnie himself is a politician. No. Bonnie himself vied for Starehe constituency, but not all
was not elected.
There are those politicians who are with the people and who are for the people. Personally, I've organized so many demonstrations, personally from the university. Several of them, Jeff, and you remember, I've done so many demonstrations in Nairobi about the cost of living, about the usual mandamanos that we are doing, the post-election mandamanos. I was one of the chief organizers in Nairobi. And as a leader, I believe in being a unique leader. It's not about blanketly saying that politicians, because politicians are different. Babu Owino is a unique type of a politician. Babu Owino is a leader. He plays politics where need be, but the ultimate thing, the common denominator about myself is about leadership.
You know why we're
and servant leadership.
He knows why we're protesting. Are you in the Public Finance Committee?
I'm not in the Finance Committee. I'm in the Budget Committee, not Finance Committee. Finance Committee is responsible about the finance bill. Okay. So I'm not part of this.
What does the Budget Committee do?
Deals with the budget of the nation.
The one that you are protesting against?
The one that you are not protesting. You are not protesting against the budget. You are protesting against the finance bill, right? That is the problem. That is the elephant in the room.
What is in the bill, the budget?
How the budget is going to be funded.
This is the 4 trillion
what is in the
budget.
bill. So what is in the bill
the 4 trillion
is called a finance bill. What is going to be funded, how the budget is going to be funded. Sorry, let me just explain to you well. Then the budget is about the budget of the nation, of which there are Azimio members in it, and there are Kenya Kwanza members in it. Kenya Kwanza members are the majority in it.
Hold on.
Let me finish this because it's very important. The Kenya Kwanza members in the budget committee are the majority. Then we are the minority. We produce a minority report anytime we don't agree with the budget. For example, if there's going to be money set aside for renovation of the deputy president's house, what do? We write a minority report that we disagree, but they still pass it nevertheless because they have the numbers. Yeah. So that is what happened. So we are part of you, Bonnie.
Okay, let me bring Senior Counsel Paul Mwangi in here. And when you see these young people, does it give you a recollection, or do you feel deja vu from 1990?
There's a lot of deja vu. Yeah. Just the passion that they have.
Because you guys were young then.
We were young. We finished campus in 90. That's when we entered campus in 87, and that's when the clamor for multipartism started in 88. So it's my generation that was in the streets when all this riots began.
And what age were you? Were you early 20s?
that time, that is the 1990, we were 23, 24.
Yeah.
And but what we faced then was very different. We were protesting against first a person who was known to be, one of the worst dictators. Moi then was acknowledged as one of the most accomplished dictators. We had just come through the 88s during the time when there was a serious crackdown. Everybody was in jail. People were being detained. And we had a very ruthless police force. We had special branch. If you arrested, if it was like Boniface,
yes.
He would have been
in the dungeons.
He would have been in a court today and possibly serving a 20-year sentence. Those are the sentences that were being dished then. So what I would remember was just the sheer terror that hung. And riots had to be called way in advance. There was no internet. There was no we would say it on radio, government-controlled radio, government-controlled media. So it would be announced, and you would be waiting 30 days from today that there's going to be a riot. And then by word of mouth, people would now decide to be there. And you know what you're coming up against.
So times have changed?
A lot. And like in Sabasaba, just before Sabasaba was held, there was a round of arrests. And people were detained. Matiba went to detention,
Yeah.
Rupia went to detention.
Yeah.
So it's very, but one thing that you can recognize from the generation that is that is the sheer passion and the determination that they have that they are going to change their story. And we are, my generation are the parents of this generation. Yeah. With anybody in the 50s. Just a minute. The people in the 50s are the ones who are fathers and mothers
of Gen Z.
Of Gen Z, yes, the people who are 27. And people are really excited to see what this generation is able to do.
All right, lady and gentlemen, I want to take a quick break, come back and talk some more because there's so much to talk about. There's so much. I know, Bonnie, you have horror stories from jail, but and I want to know, how can you guys sustain this? Is this a one-off, or can you guys sustain this? That's the question I want to ask. And from the the legislators, what's the way forward? What's the way forward with this finance bill and others going forward? Hold the thought. Hold the thought. We're coming back, folks. There's so much ahead. Goodness, this conversation is going to be good. We started off on a high note, and we'll continue it. In the meantime, we've got some business news and sports coming up, and then back to the bench. Stand by.